Thank you all so much for volunteering and being a part of this incredibly exciting festival on Friday. It is my first festival. This is my first year with World Savvy. I'm the Bay Area professional learning facilitator, and it's been a super fun year working with teachers and students. And so we really could not um, do this without all of you. So I really, really appreciate your volunteering. Sorry, someone is chatting with me here. Hangouts. It was okay. I think. I
Oh,
think.
that was just me sharing the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Apologies. Um, so I'll introduce a couple other people who are here with us for just ease of sort of turning on and off mics. I'll just introduce them for you. So we have, actually, Michelle, go ahead. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay. I'm Michelle. Hi, everyone. I have been working with the teachers and students in preparation for this festival and really excited to be with you all on Friday. And today I'm just going to be moderating the chat in the conversation. So if you feel like posting in the chat instead of speaking over the mic, I will be the person to kind of share that out and make sure that everyone's voice is heard.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. And we also have Tracy who is with us. Tracy, if you could introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Tracy. I am a grad student getting my MBA in Sustainable Management, and I'm currently working with World Savvy as an intern. It's obviously also my first festival, and super excited about Friday. So welcome everyone.
Great. So in a second here, I'll start our presentation. But where we'll sort of start talking about equity and the work that we do. But I'd love if everyone could um, either in the chat, so typing in your who you are and what brings you to this volunteer opportunity. So I can. Um, so just a little bit about why you're interested in volunteering and your name. That'd be great. So either in the chat or unmiking yourself and speaking.
Does it work? Yeah.
You're good. You sound. Yep. Go ahead, Anika.
I'm Annika. I'm a senior in high school. I'm an intern for Earth Team, a nonprofit based in Richmond. They go around the East Bay doing after school environmental programs with certain schools, and they try to get their students to do community based learning projects. And they found this and they were like, do it. And I think I'm gonna be doing it without one of my supervisors because everyone seemed to be busy, but I'm super down to checking it out because at my school for my program I did a lot of projects where we tried to find the best solution for something and we presented it, and it was an interesting experience and I thought it'd be cool to check this out.
Amazing! Yay! Thank you so much. I'm sure you'll have a lot to provide for the students in terms of perspective on how to, showcasing solutions. So awesome.
And I'll just share out Jennifer is a Spanish teacher. Jennifer, if you want to wave, at an IB middle school and was interested in the global focus. It's amazing. It'd be so good to have you as a teacher in that perspective. Karen serves as the IB coordinator at a school in Livermore. The goals of World Savvy align beautifully with the goals of IB. Yes, absolutely. I can't wait to hear more about that. Awesome. So glad to have you all. If Erin or Elaine feel like sharing, that would be great. And in the meantime, Anika, can you just say how you heard about this opportunity? I'm really curious.
Oh, I heard about it. Literally one of my supervisors, I think they got an email or something because a bunch of people try to contact them about different things and try to get us involved. And I think it's just by, I would say word of mouth, but it's probably by email.
What was her name? Sorry.
Oh, it might have been Jenna Topper or Joelle Alley. Do you want me to type it?
I think Michelle's got it. Thank you.
Oh, hi. My camera's kind of glitching, but this is Elaine. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I currently work at Visa, and a coworker, Anne Wang Reed. I think she's friends with somebody who works there. I can't remember his name right now. But oh, here it is.
Roland.
Yes, thank you. It is Roland. So we have a few people from Visa coming in on Friday, and we're all really looking forward to it.
Awesome. Yeah, we had a big room full of Visa members of the training earlier today. So thank you so much. Okay.
Sorry, I'm getting a quick text. I think it's coming from Elaine. I don't know why it's going to the G chat, but she said, "Big fan of World Savvy. I'm a recent transplant from Minneapolis to the Bay, and she's coming from the Women's Foundation arena, always working with students 10 through 18." Cool. I hope that's you, Elaine. Looks like it. Thank you.
Oh no, that's not me. Sorry.
That's Erin.
That's
That was
Erin.
Erin.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, Erin.
All right. Perfect. I think that's everyone. So again, thank you so much for helping out, and we're really looking forward to Friday. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen as we sort of work through the PowerPoint and really sort of beginning a discussion around equity. So I will go ahead and do that. I'm going to share. Okay. Can folks, Michelle, can you see my screen? Okay, perfect.
Yep, we're all good.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right, so we already did the who are you and what brings you to the volunteering opportunity. So hopefully at the end of the training, our learning targets are based around if you were stating I will statements for your learning targets. So I will identify the relationships between global competence and equity. I will be able to discuss how implicit bias influences views on what we call our K2A project, which are the knowledge to action projects, which is what the students are presenting. I will see the importance of valuing projects with a lens of equity, and I will see the role of a judge as empowering individuals as meaningful, sustainable change makers. So this webinar is definitely focused around equity. There are a series of videos that hopefully have been sent to you by Kelsey that really outline sort of more logistical stuff. And then, of course, on Friday, there will be a lot of logistics presented in the morning. And so this is really a space just to have a meaningful discussion around equity. So this quote, I think, is a nice introduction to some of the work we're going to be discussing during this webinar. So whoever teaches learns in the act of teaching, and whoever learns teaches in the act of learning. So I think it's really important to just sort of state first and foremost, like the big elephant in the room, which is judging can potentially be an awkward role. And I think in itself, judging is an inequitable process. And so just wanted to sort of state that, like, first and foremost. And so, as judges, we really want to enter the process of judging actually as learners, um, and be learning from from the students and be engaged in that learning process. I had this wonderful example of this in Minneapolis during our festival. So we also have a festival in Minneapolis, and it was on Wednesday. And I was in the room with two judges, and students walked in and were like, "Are you the judges?" And they were really sort of excited slash nervous. And the woman said, "Well, I like to sort of think of myself as a friend who is learning." And that judge really just sort of opened up the dialogue, I think, to just be a lot more comfortable. And it was really a lovely way to begin the day. The kids are really excited. All the kids are going to be middle school students this year, primarily seventh graders. There will be some eighth graders. So they're 12, 13, 14. There might even be some 11-year-olds in there. So they're young. And I think anything as a quote unquote judge that you can do to sort of create a really like lovely learning environment, excuse me, can be just really wonderful for them. So we at World Savvy don't sort of in the world of equity, don't we are not experts in this. We are really driving for we are driving things forward in the world of global competency, which certainly looking at the lens, looking at the world through an equity lens is important. But recognizing we're not experts, we're also learning in this space, as is the all of you. And sometimes thinking about the students in the room, maybe the students will be sort of more experts on something than judges. And so really being flexible as we sort of look at judging through this lens of equity. So as judges, I think we seek, I love this little slide, we seek, we inquire, and we discover. So we're really using this opportunity in the room as judges to inquire in order to build knowledge, to seek knowledge, and to discover what these students have been working on for the last, anywhere from month to several months. So through this lens, sort of thinking about do you have biases? And of course, we all do as human beings. And so we're going to take you through three exercises, three thought exercises around around biases and what we all bring to the table. So we ask that you can either contribute through the chat, or you can unmic yourself and say things that sort of come to your mind. So when you look at this picture, what do you see?
A man playing a saxophone.
Nice.
But I also see a face.
I saw the woman first before, and then I saw the saxophone once it was mentioned. I knew there was probably something else.
Yeah, and so this is a very, very simple exercise, but I think really hones in on that we all see things differently based off of many different things. Some people see the saxophone first, some people see the lady. And so based on background, we see things differently, really valuing those differences and valuing valuing those multiple perspectives. So a website about global warming is more impactful than a song about global warming. Do you agree with this statement, and why?
Depends. And my why is because people are different.
Hmm. Does anyone have any thoughts around this statement in terms of if we're um, thinking about equity?
Accessibility. Yeah.
Accessibility.
Because they don't have the resources or the literacy. Because there's definitely literacy and internet access that you have to have.
And you're touching on what Jennifer and Karen just wrote in the chat, which is not everyone has access to literacy or web resources, the internet. And Jennifer also mentioned that many people could hear a song, and if it's catchy, they'll remember that. So potentially learning more from a song than a website.
Great. And in the room, this in a judging room, quote unquote judging room, you might have this exact example. Like there might be a student computer about global warming. And then you also might have a group of students writing a song. And so just thinking about trying as a judge to recognize that there's different channels for learning and information, and some might prove to be more effective than others depending on perspective and how you see the world. And so taking the time to just make that just recognize, right, that there are many multiple ways to present information and have impact. So thank you all for your insight. And then this third exercise, this third picture, how are these three people able to view the game differently?
Well, it's obvious that everybody gets a chance on the right-hand side to see the game equally, where the other side was unable to share the experience.
Mm-hmm. I really appreciate that word shared, the shared experience.
I think, let's see, that if you give everyone the same thing, they can't exactly get the same things out of it. So that's on the left side. So the idea of equal could be different for each individual to get the same outcome, or at least similar outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And in the side chat, we have some of us need more support to gain equal access, and equal is not equitable.
Yeah, this is as I'm guessing many of you have seen this, which is equal versus equitable. Equal, they're getting the same scaffolding on the left, which doesn't support all the learners, and then on the right, equitable. So I think with this, how we want to this a little bit more is just really noting that not all teachers in this experience of World Savvy Classrooms have scaffolded their students in the same way, whether it's from student to student in their own classroom or whether it's from school to school. So a teacher in one school versus a teacher in another school, or whether it's a teacher in the same school and another teacher in the same school. So there's many different options, but not all students have been scaffolded in the same way. And so as judges, just being really aware of that, and just, yeah, just really, that's about it. Just sort of having an understanding of that. And some of those scaffolds that teachers that students will have different experiences. For example, the length of time students have been working on the projects. Some students have been working on this for a couple weeks, and some students have been working on this for a couple months. So thinking about what students can do within those time frames. Number of students will vary, anywhere from about 15 students per class to 30 students per class. The amount of feedback opportunities that have been provided to students. Some have already actually showcased their projects. So they've had the experience of presenting. Some schools have technology access, which we already touched on a little bit, access and internet, and some have not. Some have been able to connect with people in their community in terms of getting opinions around from the stakeholders. So connecting with organizations, connecting with political advisors, connecting with I know one group was put in touch with a friend of mine in India to sort of look at air quality in India. So just there's different levels of connections. Whether they've had time and access to transportation to do those field work explorations, whether it's if it's committing to going to a homeless shelter, which I know some students have done, and their access and understanding around PBL and how comfortable they are taking risks. So students might have different backgrounds around whether it's their English is their first language. So there's all these different things that as judges, just asking that we be aware of those, that students are coming in much different places. And so again, making this a celebratory day, like an exciting day, and really congratulating the students as they go through this process. So I think we were trying to come up with the right word, and I think sort of this don't forget to be mindful. So take a pause, sort of check your biases, check your perspective as you enter into this judging experience.
Brooke, we have a really great question from Anika.
Great.
Am I saying that right? Is it Anika? Sorry.
It's like Anne with a hiccup. Annika.
Annika. She's asking, will there be something written that shows some info about how long students have had to prepare? One of my projects showed the audience a research grade that was given during the process to kind of set up an expectation. Really interesting. I'll let Brooke answer that one.
Yeah, it's a great question. And there's no formal explicit thing that will indicate how long they have been working on it. But there is, students know that there is a 10-minute, they are presenting for 10 minutes, and then there is a 5-minute period for Q&A. And that's really when, as judges, you can ask a lot of these background questions, and there will be questions that are set up for you as prompts. So, but certainly how long you've been working on this, how did your teacher connect you with community members, things like that, can be really, that period of Q&A can be really, really helpful in sussing that out. So thank you for that question. So as you think about sort of this lens of what perspective as a judge do I bring to the table, what biases do I have, what scaffolds or lack of scaffolds has been brought to the table for students, you want to bring all of that to the understanding of what the students are actually presenting in their showcase. And what they're presenting is their series of global competencies. So they're really looking to investigate the world, their projects. So investigate the world beyond their immediate environment by examining issues of local, global, and cultural significance. Students are looking to understand and appreciate the perspectives and worldviews of others. They are looking through their Knowledge to Action project to communicate ideas effectively with diverse audiences by engaging in open, appropriate, and effective interactions across cultures. And they are looking to take action for collective well-being and sustainable development, both locally and globally. That's like a lot. That's like sort of a lot of information. Um, but the idea is, so we have just briefly in 25, 30 minutes sort of gone over some very basic ideas of multiple perspectives and what we potentially bring to the table as our own sort of biases. And so as you are looking at students' knowledge to action projects and looking at what they are investigating, what they are recognizing, what they're communicating, and how they're taking action, just being aware of really trying to look at all of that through the most equitable lens that you can, knowing that we all have implicit biases and that we all look at the world in a specific way. So being mindful and just taking a pause. Um, so that is about it. Again, this is a very quick um, quick introduction to some very complicated work, but hopefully sets the tone that we're all sort of on the same baseline. So this is really opportunity. Again, like I said, there will be a training, an additional sort of intro training, more logistical questions on Friday morning. But this is, if you have questions around this quick webinar or additional questions about logistics, this is the time. So it's an open forum.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get it right. Annika. Oh gosh, Annika. Hope I got it. I know
Yeah.
you. Yes. Okay. So really nice. She said she doesn't necessarily need to butt in, but she wanted to say this is really cool. It's another thing that my high school program has been working on with me and my peers. That's great. Jennifer says I wasn't able to get sound on 2 videos. Didn't try another server. Did anyone else have issues? Jennifer, are you talking about sound on this recording or the videos that you watched?
No, I was talking about the videos that we were sent links for.
Oh, okay. I didn't have any issues with that, but that is good to know.
I'll try another server. It'll probably work.
Okay, and let us know. Just email if for some reason it doesn't work. Just respond to that email. Kelsey should get back to you.
And Jennifer, just to follow up, or for everyone, Kelsey will be sending out an email with, again, to like links for all of those playlist videos. She'll be sending out a link to this webinar if folks want to read it again and or watch it again, relive tonight. And then she will also be sending out in that same email rubrics, the rubrics that will be used for judging, so that if you wanted to take a look at them in more depth before the day of, you could, but you are not expected to.